Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. Once again, today, normally I would be joined by my co-host, Mike Piwowarski, coming out of Florida, the host of the phenomenal show, Arms Room Radio. Fortunately, he's not able to be here today, so it's going to be just us. We're going to have a good time. So make sure if you get a chance, make sure you chat. However you decide to send us a message, send us a message, however you're watching us. And I will be kind of tuning aside, looking aside from time to time, kind of checking out to see if you guys are, if you are communicating, if you are chatting. And we'll make sure to acknowledge your comments on the program. Before we get started, though, we got to make sure to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start off with Hitman Industries. You can find them at hitmanindustries.net. If you're looking for rifle or pistol length barrels, they are the place to go. In fact, if you've bought an AR in the last few years, chances are you've already got one of their barrels. So, hey, why not get another one? Why not rebarrel the rifle that you already got? Or who knows, maybe get yourself your own get a new build. However you decide to do it, make sure you visit them at hitmanindustries.net. Then we have the California Republican Assembly, or CRA. Ronald Reagan called them the conscience of the Republican Party, helping to elect conservative Republicans from school board all the way up to president of the United States. It is the largest and fastest growing conservative grassroots organization in the state of California. Why don't you check them out at cragop.org and become a member today. Also, we've got, if you're looking for outdoor gear, tactical gear, whatever it may be, if you're looking for all sorts of accessories, like I said, glasses, watches, you're looking for coats, whatever it may be, you can find it at uscombatgear.com. Veteran-owned and operated. Check them out today. And then finally, we've got Hog Holsters, helping Americans wear guns. You can find them at hogholsters.com. The best concealed carry inside the waistband Kydex holsters that you can find. As Mike said, it may be a little late to get one for Valentine's Day, but hey, St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. You don't really need a reason to get a new holster. So check them out at hogholsters.com. Make sure you use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog holster today. All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get into today's stories. All right, so this first one I came across, actually, I didn't even realize that the Washington Free Beacon actually does. It appears they do a weekly segment on Joe Biden's senior moments, kind of the things that he does each week that demonstrate his lack of fitness. Now, to serve an office, in my opinion. But now, mind you, everyone has gaffes, right? Everyone has senior moments. I'm nowhere near as old as the president, but even I have my moments where I, forget stuff, say stuff wrong or something like that. But he has taken it to a whole new level. And maybe it's just because, I don't know, he's president of the United States. Probably has to be one of the hardest jobs in the entire country. And yet and still, we've got a president who just seems to be stuck in that. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you because there's the one here near the end that I wanted to talk about. But anyway, let me go ahead and run. I'll go ahead and I'll run this video and we'll talk about it on the flip side.
By the way, Chief Justice, I may need a court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. And congratulations to Chuck Schumer, another term as Senate Minority Leader. There are 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. Came together to pass once in a generation, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. The middle class has been hollowed out in not one administration, but for a long. Got it over here. If you try anything to raise the cost of producing jobs, I will.
All right. So it was that last one where he is literally in the middle of speaking. He forgets where he is, And so then he goes to sit the mic down, and then somehow I don't know if somebody signaled him off stage. I don't know, but said, "Mr. President, you're not done yet." This is embarrassing, and I'm a Republican, and I'm telling you right now, this is embarrassing. It is amazing that Democrats continue to cover for him, and quite frankly, at this point, they need to cover for him because losing his mind in front of the American public, and they're going to take advantage of us. They're going to take advantage of him because they know he's not in any condition or any position to make cogent decisions about the United States. I mean, think about it. He let a spy balloon, right? A spy balloon fly over the entire width of North America, most of which was the continental U.S. I mean, it came over across Alaska, then it came down through Canada. I don't know why the Canadians didn't shoot the darn thing down, but the Canadians didn't. Anyway, then it came in Idaho, which is near the West Coast, and he let it fly all the way out until it got to the other side of the country. How is that not a demonstration of senility? I don't know how it is or it is not. All I know is that this is embarrassing. And as an American, I am embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for him because it is almost hitting the issue of elder abuse. In fact, one of the things that I wanted to note, and this is going to be actually our next topic, the president isn't even going to be doing an interview for the Super Bowl. Now, for as long as I can remember, the president of the United States has sat down with a news anchor from whoever the hosting channel is. But in this particular case, though, I think there's a reason. And I think once you stop and you think about who is televising the Super Bowl this year, you'll get it. That's right. It's Fox News. So Fox News is going to be hosting the Super Bowl. So Fox News is going to be hosting the Super Bowl. And so because of that, they decided, I guess they don't want the president to be on Fox News because, well, he's done fewer interviews. He's done the least amount of interviews of any modern president of this time. I mean, we're talking, it's not even close. He is just, they are hiding him from the American public. And you know that if he's not doing interviews with anybody who's going to ask him any serious questions, it's all got to be, we're going to tell you the questions ahead of time. We're going to make it, we're going to soft pedal everything. When he does interviews, he barely does press conferences. And when he does, once again, he's told by his staff who he gets to call on, who he gets to talk to. He's literally said it. So we know that's the case. But now imagine him on Fox News with a Fox News anchor, with Bret Baier, right? Bret Baier is like the guy there right now. He is the serious questioner at Fox News. Imagine him being able to ask the president whatever questions he wants to ask the president. Imagine him being able to ask about, who is the big guy, right? Imagine him being able to ask that question. Imagine him being able to talk about, well, you're bragging about the economy, but these jobs existed before you ever became president. Imagine if he could ask him about inflation. Look, inflation there was no inflation before you became president. And gas prices during the first almost year of your administration, gas prices almost doubled before the Ukraine war even jumped off. Right? Imagine him being able to ask him about the pulling out in Afghanistan. Imagine, oh my God. Imagine him being able to ask all sorts of questions that no one else will ask. Yeah, that's the reason why you're not going to see the president doing an interview on the Super Bowl this year, because he will not go on Fox News, because they will not allow him to be questioned by anyone who's seriously going to ask him any serious questions. It's kind of sad, but that's what we have come to, because we have a president who is completely and utterly incapable of he's incapable of speaking his own mind, of saying, of taking a thought, getting it through his brain, out of his mouth that is coherent. Let me say, I'm being a little harsh. He is not incapable of doing it. He just messes it up a lot more than he should. How about that? I think that's fair, right? A lot more than I feel comfortable having our commander-in-chief being able to do. I really do wish he were a little more talented. I wish he were a little younger, a little more together on that particular issue. All right, the next item here is one that I think we all kind of saw coming. Citigroup is one of several banking institutions that decided that they were going to be anti-gun. When I say anti-gun, they were going to specifically attack and target the firearms industry. They would do things like track firearm purchases. They do things like refusing to process purchases of firearms, things along those lines. Well, the Attorney General for the state of Texas made it very, very clear that if you are going to target an industry, in particular, in this case, he's talking about the firearms industry, an industry that helps to facilitate the exercising of a constitutional right, you will not be able to do business with the state of Texas, right? Well, guess what? Citigroup is now paying the price. That's right. So here you see the AG basically says they discriminate against the gun industry, and as a result, Citi was dropped from Texas $3.4 billion municipal deal based on that gun policy. It says here, Citigroup has been dropped from the group of banks poised to handle the biggest ever municipal bond transaction from Texas after the state's Attorney General's office determined the firm discriminates against the firearms industry, barring it from underwriting most government borrowings in the state. That is phenomenal. That is, I hate to, I don't like to see politics getting into business like that. But when you have, in this particular case, folks, and let's be clear, because firearms is such a small percentage of the business, they don't mind losing that business. I'm going to tell you right now, this is business that they mind losing. And they are not going to be the only ones to lose the business of places like the state of Texas because, just suffice it to say that, don't mess with Texas. And by the way, Texas is not the only state that has. I'm sorry, I just readjusted my camera here. Texas is not the only state that has required this, that has made the statement. Several other states have made the exact same statement and are going to be carrying out those policies. And I am so happy to see them doing it. I hope you are too. Anyway, thank you, Texas. If I had a hat on, I would tip it to you. All right, this next one. So there are going to be some Super Bowl ads. All right, and these Super Bowl ads are specifically, according to those who've created it, are specifically going to be about promoting Jesus, right? And here I had it. There it is, right there. Okay. So the whole point of it is they're trying to tout the term Jesus gets us. Now, this is not according to the people who are putting it forward, it's not a right thing, it's not a left thing. In fact, some of the imagery that you'll see in these particular ads would lead you to believe that it refers to Jesus as a refugee. It talks a bunch of different things that are in there. That makes you kind of wonder, okay, what exactly is this? And where exactly does this come from? But it's probably about as agnostic. I don't want to call it agnostic. Agnostic's not the right term. But it's probably about as a nonpartisan ad campaign as you would see. It's really just trying to help Jesus more relatable. Well, here's the left's response to the idea of an ad promoting Jesus being on the Super Bowl.
If you're planning to watch the upcoming Super Bowl, you'll likely see a few ads about Jesus. CNN's Tom Foreman looks into who is behind the He Gets Us campaign and why some are calling this a PR stunt for right-wing politics.
There was this controversial figure. Everywhere he went, people challenged him.
The message is stark, arresting, and backed by $100 million. That's how much organizers say is behind this campaign to market Jesus as a patient, loving, inclusive cure for our divisive times. With the tagline, He Gets Us. Jason Vanderground.
We're trying to unify the American people around the confounding love and forgiveness of Jesus.
The campaign website is filled with phrases saying Jesus called out the toxic religious and political systems, led the protest against the walls that divide us, and broke the chains that held women in bondage. Merchandise declares Jesus was a refugee and an immigrant. At first blush, it can all read like a stand against radical right-wing politics and related divisiveness. But the campaign pointedly says this is not an attack on anyone. It is an outreach to young Americans whom polls show are abandoning Christianity and other faiths at a historic pace.
A lot of times when people look at Christianity, they see it as much more unfortunate, hypocritical, judgmental, kind of discriminatory.
Add the fact that He Gets Us is funded by anonymous donors acting through a Kansas nonprofit linked to staunchly conservative causes, and it raises alarms for some skeptics, such as Chrissy's.
All right, so let's be clear. So you heard what he said, what their goal is and what they meant, and I really believe that these are folks who are interested in promoting Jesus and not politics, and I think to a certain degree are probably overcorrecting and trying to be nonpartisan. But the point they're making, the point that the CNN is making here is that simply to be Christian, to believe God, not just believe in, you can believe in God and still not be a right-wing wacko. But if you believe in God, if you believe God, if you believe his teachings, well, then you must be a right-wing wacko. And I'll take you to their website, and you can, here you can actually take the time and watch some of the commercials yourself. But I wanted you to check out the website and just kind of read some of the articles. Check out some of the articles. It's hegetsus.com. So hegetsus.com, no spaces. And you go down, and it's kind of interesting. It's got one here, articles, about being like children, right? Jesus loved people we hate. Jesus didn't want us to act like adults. In other words, you'll get that when you read it. How artificial intelligence imagines Jesus' love. I mean, it's literally all about talking once again about Jesus. Was Jesus' family perfect? Did Jesus have fun? Did Jesus live in poverty? Did Jesus ever mourn? Was Jesus Jesus was a refuge? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here that, quite frankly, is apolitical in my eyes, right? But it's really just, and some of it, once again, I haven't watched all the videos, so I don't quote me on this, but I'm willing to guess that you can look at this and you can say, look, these are people who are just trying to make Jesus relatable, period. And they want people to get to know Jesus. And here's the thing. There are those on the left. And when I say the left, I mean those at CNN, those in the New York Times, those in the White House who don't want you to get to know Jesus. They don't. Because when you get to know Jesus, your eyes will be opened and you will see the lies that they are telling for exactly what they are. They are lies. Anyway, they don't want you to see that. But anyway, I want to encourage you, don't listen to what the folks who are seeing it. Go there, check it out, JesusGetsUs.com. Check them out today. All right, now we're going to move on to our parting shot, brought to you by Hog Holsters. That's right, check them out, hogholsters.com. Go there, get your holster today. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Go, 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 now. All right, this one, we've only got one for today. We already kind of showed you the senior moments, but this was one that I think is in and of itself powerful enough in that it shows the hypocrisy of the left. And you'll notice the first person speaking is Hakeem Jeffries, the speaker of, not the speaker, I'm sorry, the minority leader in the House of Representatives, newly elected, referring to Republicans who basically decided to confront President Biden when he lied. All right. And then the bottom one, you'll notice, is going to be President Donald Trump when he spoke during his State of the Union address. And you can see how the Democrats treated him. So check it out.
Childish, petulant behavior by the extreme MAGA Republicans who were yelling and screaming on the floor of the House during President Biden's State of the Union address to be distasteful.
With unyielding commitment,
so as y'all saw, not only were they all wearing white in protest, but they were screaming and yelling in the middle of the speech, and Nancy Pelosi stood up in the middle of the speech and ripped the speech up. And I just want you to know, just want you to recall, Hakeem Jeffries had nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say when they did it. That was his last State of the Union address. He had nothing to say when they did that. So, yeah, no, dude is a fake and a fraud. And we know he's a fake and a fraud because, well, he's just been exposed. Well, for him, I don't know if that's the first time he's been exposed, at least on this show. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities because it's a little hard to be a leader in the Democratic Party and not be a fake or a fraud because, yeah, they pretty much all seem to be. At least I haven't found one leader in the Democratic Party who is not a fake or a fraud. I have met some very sincere Democrats who are just wrong. But, yeah, no, most of the ones I've met that are in leadership, they are fakes and they are frauds. By the way, Todd, thank you so much for putting the if you're watching us on Facebook, I believe that's in the CRA channel. He actually put the link there as well. Todd said they seem a little extreme there, or at least there was a question mark, or maybe Todd is just questioning whether or not they're actually extreme. Once again, I've only seen what the guy talked about. I literally just pulled up the website as we were doing the show, or as I was doing the show. So I'm gonna go check it out, and I'll probably have some more comments for you later. But in any case, before we go, folks, got to make sure to give a shout out to our sponsors, Hitman Industries. Find them at hitmanindustries.net. Rifle and pistol length barrels. Get yours today. California Republican Assembly, the conscience of the Republican Party, or as I like to say, in California, the Republican wing of the Republican Party. Check them out at cragop.org. Hog Holsters. Get your holsters at hogholsters.com. Use discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. And get your tactical gear, outdoor gear, outer gear, wherever you need. Get it. Owned and operated, uscombatgear.com. Anyway, oh, by the way, Todd points out, well, at least they didn't say that they were racist, because, you know, that's usually their go-to. I think they're having a real hard time saying that Jesus is racist. Well, some of them anyway. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in this fine Friday. We will be back on Monday. Fun day, gun day. Y'all have some fun, and we will see you on the flip side.